Welcome to another episode of Did It Even Resonate? This is the show where I do actual message testing on actual websites. And in this episode, we have Slite. Slite is targeting startup founders. So we put their homepage in front of startup founders and we found out stuff. So, what did we find out? Let's look at the overall scores. Clarity 3.2 out of 5, Relevance 3.3, and demo interest under 3. So not great. And why is that? Well, the TLDR, it is fuzzy positioning. Everything else looks great, but the positioning is fuzzy. And let's dive in and let's start unpacking this right away. So their homepage is bring clarity to your team. It's fine. They should really follow up right away with like what kind of clarity. Slide is a modern knowledge base. Okay, picture this in your head. Knowledge base. What is knowledge base? Imagine. Huh? Escape chaos of information overload. Okay, information overload. And then we have this screenshot, and the rest we need to basically figure out. When we look at the screenshot, what do we think about what is it, right? So this was the question for the people. They read the above the fold, and they're like, "Well, seems like a Notion competitor," or yet another tool for improved communication. How is it different, but better than other tools like this? Or looks like Notion. Is it a Notion template? You know, or basically people think it's Notion, right? And why do they think it's Notion? There's not a single word of Notion on Slite's website. Well, if you go to Notion's website, they have a screenshot, and well, lo and behold, it basically looks the same. So Notion being the $10 billion gorilla in the category, they're the default, right? Everything else needs to be different from Notion. Notion does not need to be different. And Slide looking like Notion, people are like, this is like Notion, or it's a Notion template, which is worse, of course. So they don't mention anything about it. Is it like Notion? Is it like Confluence? Is it like something else? They leave us to assume and make assumptions. And what do we know about making assumptions? Makes something out of you and me. And also, if we click around here, okay, this is wiki. Oh, there's also like projects, and there's like stuff and handbooks and meetings and decision making, and when people go through this, they're like, I'm not sure what this is. I'm not sure what this is. So this start scrolling down. Teamwork is more important than chat. Okay, is it the Slack alternative? Like, is a jab against chat? I understand the information overload. Slack bombarding. We get clarity. Okay, sees who's doing what. Repetitive docs. Well, things like this. People are like, what the hell are repetitive docs? Right? There should be a link to where I can read more about for all of these things. And so they read these features that are hoping to provide people hope that will provide clarity. And if we go to section number 2 and see, people are like, well, I mean, all the first things you mentioned, well, I can do this with Slack and Google Doc and so on. So goes beyond chat. Um, Still is like, what is it? Is it Notion meets Monday? Maybe is it project management software now that there are all these other things in there? Or while people say, oh, this is significantly clearer than the first one, actually it's also creating more confusion. So it gives you more ideas of what to use it for. But is it like Confluence? So it's the TLDR is that the section offers a lot more detail, but people don't care about detail until they get the big picture. They don't care until they get it. Right? And so let's keep scrolling on the Slites website. So now we get beat the blank canvas. There are some templates here. Essentials matter. All these tools we integrate with, and more things you can do. Start discussions, and then embed them anywhere in your workspace. At first, when I was reading them, it's like, what is them? Embed them. What is it referring to? And what workspace? Is it like Google Workspace? Wait, what? And then I realized, oh, it makes me read these in order and memorize what I just read. So it just builds upon it. So really, it assumes pretty high cognitive load here, which I don't know if people have, right? So and then we get to pricing, okay? And so about this section, what people felt was that um, first of all, templates are great, like people understand, this is what I use you for. But then thought it replaces a tool, but now it says it plugs into your docs in Asana and Airtable. So is it the replacement or is it an alternative tool? And again, it's the confusion of positioning. What is it? What does it replace? Um, yeah, okay. Other things people are saying, if you click toggle on the favorites here, feature heavy, but it's not talking to the problems I have, or it feels like more of the same, or there's so many features. I'm starting to think, is this overwhelming to use, right? So that is a problem. And when we get to the so overall, now that we read the whole page, what did we think? Like, people are, I don't get it. Like, what is it, right? What is it? Is it a separate platform? Can I log into this platform or not? I know it's some sort of a collaboration tool, but I couldn't tell you exactly. Yeah? That's a problem, right? I don't understand what Slite replaces. That's a problem, right? Yeah. And does it exist with my existing workflows, or does it replace the whole thing? So overall, there are no issues with the screenshots really. I guess people do want to see the bigger picture that's being mentioned, so they would be good to add links to these things so people can see a bigger picture and more description of the feature. But really, the 500-pound gorilla in the room is like, what is it and what does it replace? I feel like Slide needs to have a bolder claim about its identity, about the market it wants to grab, and because this kind of like collaboration tools is an enormous category, I would not shy away from just really spelling out how this is different from all these other tools out there, even naming competitors. All right, this is it for this time. See you next time.